Counterpoint is something I think about a lot with Shipp in this context because, the piano is a massive instrument. I mean, he can be playing 3-4 parts at once. And so I think about how I can create the fourth part and how that fourth part would interact within context to him. Also, something I really think about a lot is not always being on top, trying to figure out ways to kind of get inside of what we're trying to do, whether we're in time or not. And the most important thing for me in that context is sound.
We're two people on stage. Basically what it is a sound object, it's a sound sculpture. So that's the fundamental. You can't get beyond that we project a sound together. We have a personality as a duo. And once that sound object is developed in what it is, and then something Darius talked about was, changing voices, sometimes being on top and singing and be the melody. Other times he might want to get behind my left hand and kind of rumble underneath or get between the harmonies and changing your function within a few seconds on stage. Because a lot of people, especially if they're not used to kind of creating in a free situation, they can get stuck on a certain track and they can't get off of it. But he's talking about something that's very subtle and very important, because if you switch your roles, if you're like accompanying somebody and then all of a sudden you're taking a lead and all of a sudden then you're doing kind of a middle voice, you're actually really shaping the music in subtle ways that allows little changes to slowly happen, and then all of a sudden you're in an A section and then you're in a C section that's totally different but somehow related, because it's slowly mutated over time by the two participants kind of changing the roles of the instrument. And that's a very subtle thing. It's actually extremely hard to do what he's talking about, because you had to make these choices in real time, intuitively, in front of people, and it's easy in this type of music to get stuck on one track and just keep kind of going down it in tunnel vision. But to make these very subtle choices to just change things up a little bit is what gives the composition forward movement and changes little things that allow a lot of other events to kind of unfold in a very subtle but compositional way. And when he changes his role, that I change something. That triggers something in my subconscious that changes things. And then vice versa, we have this thing going back and forth, and it allows the composition to kind of organically grow on its own.
One of the things that I really have appreciated and loved about working with Matthew is that I really have to be on my toes and have to find myself after a concert really being like, whoa, I need to, maybe look at this string quartet, or go back and check out some more Bud Powell, or like look at what Duke Ellington was doing with, his big band. And I find myself, or even just listening to maybe, some more Matthew Shipp and being like, oh, he was doing this idea, and I heard this on this recording. And so I want to kind of develop a relationship with these musical elements. And also I want to develop my musical elements as well. And so for me, I think, options, listening, understanding that you're dealing with the full spectrum of music within the context of a free setting, that you're not just, if you're trying to get variety, it's not all about technique either. It's about musicality. So just like all the things that you would do if you were just playing a medium swing, or if you were playing a really fast swing, or if you were playing a ballad or something in three, or however, you're still utilizing all those elements within the context of a free setting.